What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today we are going to be showcasing the best PvE weapons for next season. So dust off your collections, dive into your vault, or get grinding if you don't have these currently. And so, let's get started. If I sound a little hyped, it's because I'm bumping off some advanced GG. Use code KackisHD and get some MTash Mango Splash to support my boy. Now, how are we knowing which weapons are going to be good next season? Well, we can make some pretty safe bets due to what Bungie recently revealed about buffs and, in this case, especially nerfs that are going to be hitting the game next season. Essentially, Bungie is taking the top PvE performers in terms of gun types and nerfing them pretty substantially. So we're going to be looking at the things kind of waiting in the wings, the things that people often overlook, but if the best options are going to be hit by a massive nerf, these are the things that are going to rise to the top. So these big nerfs that are going to massively impact PvE are, firstly, for sniper rifles. Their buff that they got back with Shadow Keep, around a 20% damage buff, is being rolled back entirely. Adaptive frame snipers are getting less precision damage. Rapid fire frame snipers are doing less base damage. And the best of the PvE snipers, the Izanagi's Burden Exotic Sniper, is being individually nerfed as well. So let's say snipers off the table. We're not going to look at any snipers today. Next up, grenade launchers. So firstly, their most powerful, most popular archetype, the aggressive frames, are disappearing and being replaced by rapid fire frames. As a result, they get around a 20% damage reduction. Additionally, grenade launchers in general are doing 10% less damage across the board to major enemies and above. So again, they're off the table. Let's say that those two nerfs, obviously, we know what the current meta is with the best grenade launchers and the best snipers, and there still may be some remnants that are useful, but let's say they're nerfed hard enough that they're off the table. What are the next best things? Well, if you want something that's very sniper-like, I would go after the Line in the Sand linear fusion rifle. This is a sundial weapon, so extremely easy to grind for, especially with Imperium Foundation going on right now. You can pick up the bounties and then just donate, pick up even more. But this is capable of getting, firstly, rapid hit, which you are using solely for the increase in reload speed, so you can just get out more DPS in a boss phase, let's say, and also it can get the extremely powerful and rare perk Firing Line. If 2 or more allies are nearby, you get a 20% damage boost. That is insane. If you're a solo player, you can replace Firing Line with Clown Cartridge, which means that sometimes your magazine is 5, but you're going to reload and you get 8. That also does wonders for your DPS. I actually made a video on the Line in the Sand and tested it, and it just wasn't up to par with current snipers. But again, they're going down, so this may be the next best thing. Moving on from there, however, a gun type that is really not being touched. Well, it is being touched, but specifically in PvP. Those changes are extremely unlikely to impact this archetype in PvE, and that is shotguns. And there is some really powerful shotguns. The first one that comes to mind is the Lord of Wolves. Now, interestingly, this is actually getting a nerf, and you're going to be less accurate when Release the Wolves is active, but that's unlikely to matter too much in PvE. The thing is, when you test DPS, the Lord of Wolves is ahead of the current Izanagi's Burden. It's only in a sustained test when you introduce things like a Lunafaction well that the Izanagi's Burden pulls ahead. So the Lord of Wolves DPS is phenomenal, and especially next season if we get some activities in PvE that have more close range encounters, this is a serious contender that you should look at getting. Next up for shotguns, we have the Legend of Acreus. This is an old school weapon. It was the original raid exotic for the Leviathan raid, but this thing packs a punch. In fact, this was one of the weapons least affected by the massive change to auto-reloading, where, if you're in a Luna faction well before Shadowkeep, your gun would just constantly reload. You never actually have to do a reload animation. When that was taken away, the Legend of Arceus didn't see that much of an impact, and the reason being is because once you expend that first magazine and you start reloading and you go shell, shoot, shell, shoot, shell, shoot, that is basically matching its normal rate of fire. So its DPS, especially its sustained DPS, is unaffected and therefore very, very impressive. This is again another serious contender. But looking outside of exotics, we have the perfect paradox. This is a rapid-fire frame shotgun, which is the best for overall DPS, and this can actually roll with two unbelievable perks. Firstly, Demolitionist. A lot of people forget about the fact that you can throw a grenade and you instantly refill your magazine. So if you have an extended mag perk, that's 8 rounds instantaneously back. Then you have Trench Barrel, and you can also get 1-2 punch as well. Both are nutty for DPS. You want 1-2 punch if you're planning on running a melee build, but if you just want the shotgun itself to deal the damage, you want Trench Barrel. Punching an enemy gives you 3 rounds of a 50% damage increase. That's absurd. So if you're up close and personal, it's fully automatic. You're punching 1, 2, 3, punch 1, 2, 3, punch 1, 2, run out of ammo, throw a grenade, get all 8 rounds back, keep doing the same thing. This is the best PvE shotgun ever made, and it's available right now to get unbelievably easy right now with the Imperium Foundation. You can get 6 to 7 perfect Paradox bounties, deposit 400 Fractaline, and your chances of getting those god rolls of Demolitionist Trench or Demolitionist 1-2 Punch, you're almost guaranteed them because you're going through so many different weapons so quickly. So shotguns are already very, very powerful. It's just that the PvE encounters, especially in the raid, are more geared towards snipers. So if we get some closer range PvE encounters next season, definitely shotguns are going to be on top. Now, speaking of close range encounters, if we do get that, some other things that, unlike snipers and grenade launchers, are getting what appears to be a massive buff is swords. So, next season, they're going to have an energy bar, and you use up your energy to make your heavy attacks do even more damage. You can block using energy now without wasting any ammo, and they're going to loop infinitely when chaining light attacks. So, something you really want to look at for DPS is potentially the It's Stared Back from year 1. You can get the same god roll it comes with on most other swords, but if you get the combo of, firstly, Whirlwind Blade, consecutive rapid sword strikes, increased damage, and then Relentless Strikes to get ammo back for doing that, combined with the change making it chain infinitely so there's no break in the action, you're just swing, 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 ramping up that damage, getting ammo back. Swords are a serious contender. The thing is, swords have actually low-key been extremely good in the DPS department because they were completely unaffected by the reload nerf. Because you don't reload with your swords, you just expend all your ammo off the bat. So, definitely looking at getting a good sword is very important for next season. Another potential example, the Striker's Sure Hand right here. Something like Surrounded, when combined with Surrounded Spec, can be insane for DPS. I also love how swords can get an impact masterwork, so they just do more damage. Alright, but moving on from there, let's say there's not a bunch of close range encounters next season, what else can you use? Well, in terms of heavy weapons, you do have the 1000 Voices. Now this is pretty hard to get, it's the raid weapon from Last Wish, but this thing has always done quite a lot of damage. It just hasn't quite been on the level of grenade launchers and sniper rifles. Well, that may change. Also, this is one of the weapons most positively affected by the ammo economy and the armor mods, because if you put on like double fusion rifle scavenger, firstly it'll affect the 1k voices, and also it'll affect, you can use a fusion rifle at the same time that's also getting those benefits, which is awesome. But most importantly, you can get like 3 rounds for picking up a finder brick. 3 rounds of 1k voices outputs so much damage, has so much killing potential, it's insane. And that kind of matches what you're going to get for a grenade launcher, but 3 rounds of grenade launcher and 3 rounds of 1k voices, it's not even close. And on that same vein, a gun type I think has been a dark horse for a while is rocket launchers. These used to be the DPS kings back in vanilla D1. They've fallen off a bit, but like the 1K, they benefit massively from the ammo economy. 3 rounds of rocket launcher is capable of doing so much more than 3 rounds of grenade launcher, or even multiple rounds of sniper rifle. You get so much ad clearing potential as well. And the thing is, there is some unbelievable beyond god roll rocket launchers available right now with Imperium Foundation. The Pyroclastic Flow can get, well, firstly, it has intrinsically tracking built into the frame. That's insane. It can get impact casing for even more damage. It can get Ambitious Assassin, so you just shoot 1 round and get a double kill on some thralls, and then you have 2 rounds in the magazine that you can take into a boss fight or use whenever. And it's got Cluster Bomb. It's truly an insanely good weapon. And I genuinely think people are not using rocket launchers simply because they haven't used them in so long and they forget just how good they are. Honestly, if you load up on rocket launcher ammo mods and then go and play some strikes or do an activity or the sundial, whatever, you're going to be shocked by just how often you're shooting your darn rocket launcher. These things like never run out of ammo because of how plentiful and how generous the bricks are. But the Pyroclastic Flow ain't the only good one. The Heretic rocket launcher dropping from the Altars of Sorrow activity is also insane. It comes with Demolitionists. So again, shoot your rocket launcher, throw your grenade, instantly shoot your rocket launcher again. That's really powerful. Cluster Bomb as well. And so, those are a few of the weapons that, if snipers and grenade launchers are truly getting hit hard enough that they kind of remove themselves from the meta, these are the weapons that will likely rise up and take their place. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKackis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.